Hey there, first of all, a little bit of bookkeeping. There was actually no videos, there were no videos for a week. I do Let's Plays on Sundays, and I'm currently playing through Goblins 3, so I did a video, and then there was nothing, and then this Sunday there was another video for Goblins. There was just nothing in between, and some of it was not under my control. I mean, Newgrounds, I usually do Concept Hunter. I always do Concept Hunter on Saturdays, and I always do it from Newgrounds. I look at games from Newgrounds, and Newgrounds was down for 24 hours. I kept waiting for it to come up, and it just didn't, and eventually was like, I have other stuff to do, and I just didn't do a Concept Hunter. Nothing I could do about that. It's weird. It was down, but it was down for 24 hours, which is unfortunate. For the other things, happens that there just isn't a video sometimes. I don't think it has ever happened that both of them, I didn't do both of them. I did either Dota stuff or Why Shit. I didn't do either of them. I don't think it's ever happened before, but it happened this time. It just didn't come along for various reasons. We weren't going to shoot me. Anyways, today I want to talk about something that's pretty interesting and it got me thinking. So, Doom. A lot of people have been talking about Doom because it is surprisingly good. A couple of things made people skeptical. The beta specifically, the multiplayer beta, wasn't that great. People were saying, and they were kind of scared about it. And will this suck? And the answer is no. It's actually pretty good. It seems like it's not bad. Nobody's saying that it's fantastically amazing. Nobody's saying that. But nobody's saying it's bad. Everybody's saying it's either, it's Doom, which is fun. It's pretty good. And yeah, it's Doom. Or some people are saying, yeah, it's pretty damn good. That's kind of like the sentiment. It's very exactly in the point of, this is pretty good. It's not amazing. It's not shit. It's pretty good. And that's pretty cool, first of all. It is Doom, and they did it exactly as Doom needs to be. And you know what? A lot of people have talked about this in various reviews. Channels way bigger than me, so there's no real reason for me to go into those things. But I just want to make sure we're on the same page that this is a pretty cool game. And what they talk about mostly is the single-player campaign. I don't think I've heard anybody talk about the multiplayer almost at all. People are talking about the single player and how it's pretty cool, it's pretty awesome, it's Doom, Doom, it's Doom, man. It's awesome. And most of them have played Doom as a kid, me too, and which is why it's like, this is pretty cool stuff. And this sentiment brings me, specifically me, to a very, very clear problem. I want to play Doom. I don't want to play multiplayer Doom. I want to play the single-player Doom. And it is a single-player campaign that I will play on the highest difficulty level, and it'll be about 10 hours, probably a bit less. Usually people say between 10 and 12 hours. It usually takes me a little bit less than that because I'm very, very much versed in video games, and I just fly through the content in most cases. And that's it. I will not touch the multiplayer. Because me specifically, I don't play multiplayer FPS games. I play very little multiplayer FPS games. I was never much into TF2. I played a bit. The thing that I played the most was probably Counter-Strike, but I did not play a lot. But that's really not a lot. I went into Dota and just stayed at Dota forever. I just don't do multiplayer FPS. I'm pretty good at the genre. I like it. I like shooting stuff. It's kind of fun. But it gets very old very quick for me. That's just how I feel. And what I do love, however, is when there's cool mechanics and there's story involved with it, and there's a single-player campaign. I love Half-Life. I love BioShock. I love these games that have a story, that have a single-player campaign. And Doom, in this case, I would totally play. But I don't really feel like spending $60 on such a game. And this is where the problem comes in. Doom, a lot of other games, if you talk about BioShock, it doesn't really have a multiplayer. It maybe has a little bit of multiplayer, but BioShock is meant to be a single-player game. Doom, in this case, it is really kind of, there's a single-player campaign, but there's a multiplayer. I mean, the point is the multiplayer. And it's kind of like, I don't really want to spend $60 on a 10-hour experience. I don't feel that it's worth it that much. And this is a game that's very much split, in my opinion, into there's a single player and there's multiplayer as well. If you take a look at Call of Duty, that's a game that the 99% of people who buy it don't even look at the single player campaign. Well, that's not entirely true. A lot of people really like it. But the point is, you buy it for multiplayer. You do not buy Call of Duty for the single player campaign. It's an addendum that some people care for. but not everybody. And sometimes it's like 5 hours and you're just like, whatever. And sometimes it's good and sometimes it's bad. Whatever. Multiplayer is the point. Multiplayer is the point when you look at Call of Duty. When you look at Doom, it's very much half and half. It's very much, you've got the multiplayer, you've got the snap map with the creator, the modder that you could create maps. It's really, really cool stuff. And you have this single player campaign that I very much want to play, but $60 for that? I don't really feel that comfortable with spending that much money on it. Consider other games, which, you know, there's a very big problem in comparing them, such as Hyper Light Drifter, for example. I spent about 7 hours, I want to say, 7-8 hours finishing the game, and then I did New Game Plus, which took me about 3-4 hours, so let's say 12 hours in total, which is a lot. 12 hours I played Hyper Light Drifter. It's a game that cost $20, and it was worth every penny. I'm very happy with that purchase. When you look at Doom, though, $60 for those 10 hours, and clearly it's a much more highly polished game, and it's a very different game. But I'll probably play it for 7 hours. Let's say I'm gonna play it once on the highest difficulty level that will allow me at the beginning. I don't know if there's unlockables. I have no idea. Highest difficulty level that will allow me 7 or 8 hours, and I'm done. I'll never touch it again. That's kind of what I'm going to do with Doom if I'll ever get it. And I don't know if that's worth $60 for me. In today's world, we have games that are strictly multiplayer. We've got Overwatch, and Overwatch isn't really a $60 game. I mean, there's it for $40, but it's you could get it for $60, but you can. I mean, if you just want to buy Overwatch, it's $40. I believe, according to what I understand. And it's just multiplayer. It is just multiplayer, and it's also a lot for just multiplayer. But it's $40. It's not a $60 full retail game. Doom has both. Battleborn has both. But I very much see people who would only want to play one of these segments. Only want to play single player or only want to play multiplayer. And it's really hard to say, maybe you could sell it as two different models, like $30 for single player, $30 for multiplayer, and you could buy only one of them. And the big question is, can you really do that? And I don't know. I don't have a good answer, because in a way, how do you value how much the single player is worth and how much the multiplayer is worth? Considering the multiplayer, if you love it, you could play it for hundreds of hours. So that is equal $30 to the $30 of the 10-hour single player campaign. It's a problem. And it's really an issue of looking at it that way. There's a lot of people who don't want to play multiplayer whatsoever, so they would only want the single player. Will they be willing to pay $30? For me, as an example, I would totally pay $30 to play the Doom single player campaign. I think if it's 10 hours, sounds good to me. I'll play it probably once, maybe. If it's really good, I'll play it twice. I'll pay $30 for it. That's good. I won't pay $60 for it though, because I know for a fact that I will not touch the multiplayer. I really don't care for the multiplayer in that type of game. I'm interested in the multiplayer for these new games. Like Overwatch, not really, but Battleborn and Paladins and Paragon. We've talked about this before because they have unique, cool mechanics that I'm interested in seeing how they are. I'm not going to play those games very much, but I want to see the new mechanics and see how they integrate, because it's interesting to me in a design perspective. But I'm not going to play multiplayer that much. And that doesn't exist. I don't know if it's also business-wise, if it's smart business-wise to split those two. I don't know if it'll result in more sales or less sales, because I don't know if there are people like me who only want one of the components and don't care to spend the $60 on getting both of them, even though they won't use one of them. I have no idea. It's an interesting topic, I feel. This is how I feel about it in this case, specifically of Doom. I don't know about other games. Battleborn, probably the same. I don't care for Battleborn either in the single player or the multiplayer from what I've heard, but if I did care, I'd probably want the single player, and I wouldn't pay $60 for it. I'd be glad to pay $30, though. It's an interesting question. If you have any thoughts about that, I'd love to hear it in the comments. And yeah, that's it. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you guys next time.